Good evening, everyone, and welcome to another episode of our Legend of the Five Rings live play. Last time we left off with our samurai. We opened up with a little dragon coming in from the south gate with a contingent of crab samurai. I say contingent, but it was like a dozen, which is more than enough to get anything done, honestly, if you know the crab. They were introduced to the Phoenix Samurai of the group, the replacement for the little dragon, quote unquote. And then they rushed off after having a nice catch up to the east gate, where they saw that there was an imperial regiment that had shown up as representatives of the emperor himself, and delivering the topaz champion armor and daisho that had been created for them. They had a tense moment where they had to establish the rules of the town, and then all of the teachers and mentors were called in for a meeting the next morning, and everybody was given a chance to kind of talk about their interactions with the daimyo. Morimori and Doji Izanagi held nothing back. To Morimori more than anything, Doji at least tried to be somewhat courtly. And after the meeting, they were pulled aside by the tea house master, where they went and had a discussion, a frank discussion, and several theories were batted around. And we left off with them rushing towards the south after having a discussion with everyone's favorite Eda, to find out what happened to Ryuji. And that's where we'll pick up with our two boys. So, on the way south to the mines, Tomorimori will break off to handle something. Soshi has still not met up with you guys, so you must imagine that something is going on at the Scorpion encampment. But by the time you were out of the city limit and down into where the mining territory starts, it is late afternoon, and you'll see that there's a little tendril of smoke coming up from a small fire, and you'll smell what can only be described as a soup. It doesn't seem like there's any actual protein to give the scent any earthiness. It kind of just smells like boiling water. But you will see that there is a little encampment, not tents, but there are kind of shacks, and you'll see a group of what look like miners just kind of eating around the fire. And you will see that there is a tent that has been, at least the actual support of the tent, there's no canvas, but it does look like there was a section for a bedroll. You can see the little indentation in the ground, and immediately the miners will stand up and bow low, and you'll see that there's an Ashigaru soldier who stands up after he sees them stand up and takes notice of you, and he also bows. You have arrived at the mines.
Okay. Excuse me. There's a local craftsman, Ryuji, who was supposed to be here. Do you know of him?
You'll see the miners kind of looking at each other, and the Ashigaru magistrate kind of steps forward, nods. Samurai, that's why I was posted here. He was found, and he points at the barren tent place where the canvas is missing. The miners found him face down in the dirt. Gruesome sight. and he motions over to one of the miners. Oromeiji, please explain to them what you saw. And an older gentleman, beard, scraggly hair, dirty fucking hands and feet. But he comes over, he kneels in front of the two of you. Samurai, I am... My friends and I are the ones that found him. He was face down, like he was crawling out of his tent. And he had 2 cross-marked scars that ran down the length of his spine, or were at the ends of this large scar that ran down the edge of his spine, but he looked like just a bag of flesh when we found him.
I'll look at Doji. Does that track? Oh,
I get one of those per game.
Yeah.
As
Use
soon
it
as he
early.
mentions that, I just share a glance with him, like,
Okay.
like yes, that's exactly what So yes, take us to the body.
Oh, well, it's been beheaded and buried, and the
Right.
guard will come up and it's like, we buried him over here, Samurai. And he'll take you to where you see a little mound of dirt.
Mhm.
Human shaped, kind of, very thin. The Eda Bogonato is the one that tried as best as possible to fold him into the hole.
I get it. If I may be so bold, let me see the back of your neck, please.
He shows you. No scar.
Have you checked everybody? Have you checked everybody else?
Yes. And he'll motion, and you see all of them kind of turn around and hold. If they have long hair, they'll hold it up over their necks, but none of them have the scars.
So the scars that came out of him, did they start where we are looking, or did he start somewhere else?
There was one, and the guard tells you from what the peasant said. There was one at the base of the neck and one at the base of the spine, and there was just a gash from one to the other.
The ones I fought and I killed recently, when they turned into their form, how did they came out of the body like that too, right? Out of the back?
Yep.
I know I have the power to do this. It's just tasteless. I ask everybody to show me the bottom part where the scar would have started to see if anybody has a scar there.
They all kind of look at each other, but then they drop their
And
pants.
if any of them even gives me even a glance like they're going to question me,
They don't. No, they drop their pants immediately. There's some hesitation because they don't. There's a little bit of modesty, but the miners do it instantly. And once they start putting up their pants, like the magistrate will kind of step to the side and pull his pants down as well. No scars.
No scars. Okay.
What happened to his belongings?
He gave you jade, correct?
He was here looking for it.
He was here looking for it. Interesting.
To answer your question,
useful.
Yeah, to answer your question, Shibakusho, one of the miner that you're talking to, Oromeiji, he looks to the magistrate and then he looks back to you. Most of his things were burnt, Samurai. And then he rushes into one of the shacks and comes back, and he's holding what looks to be this kind of bamboo slotted journal.
Yeah.
And he's holding on to it like close to his chest. I did save this. And the magistrate goes over and punches him in the face.
No, that is probably useful. Hand it here.
And he picks it up off of the ground and brings it to you. He just kind of kneels in front of you and holds it up reverently. And the magistrate it gasps in shock as you just grab it. And he's like, Samurai, that could be tainted.
I am more concerned with the life of the Emperor's representative and his champion, which are only a few miles from here. If I must suffer to protect him and the Empire, I will. And I open it.
The journal has a bunch of different designs. You can see the work that he kind of did before he got to actually creating the trinket that he made for Soshi-san.
Mm-hmm.
You can see some other designs that he was working on. It looks like he was working on a design for Shibakusho where the finger of jade was carved out to look like a phoenix in flight.
Mm-hmm. Wow, pretty.
But you'll notice that if you go to the end and turn it upside down, you'll see that he used it for something else completely. And there's drawings of this woman in different poses. Some are candid, some are posed, but they all look the same. They're all the same woman. And
Does she look familiar?
no. But there's one drawing that it's just a bust of her. And it is one of those things where, for what you imagine is a peasant or another merchant, she is modestly beautiful. She could easily rival any of the crane courtiers that you've seen coming and going. And you'll see that there's actually a few lines that have been scribbled and crossed out. But in the corner, there's an actual haiku that he wrote.
Yeah, that's his curly.
I'll read it.
It says, you are my starlight, guiding me through the darkness, the sun's jealousy.
Nice.
Well,
I close the book.
Yep.
We need to
No.
find her.
we need to check on Ryuji.
Yes. Shit. Okay. I get the book.
Mhm.
I put it in my pack.
Okay.
I'm taking it with me.
Yeah.
And where would we find Ryuji now?
My first thought would be his stall, his shop.
Well, the miner points
Yeah.
at the mound of dirt.
That is Ryuji.
That is Ryuji.
No. Hold on. No. Not the point. There might be another Ryuji.
Right.
And
It's
that's the point.
The reason
Oh.
we check your neck.
Yes.
Oh,
Does anybody, I look at all the people there. Do any of you know where he lived? Like where his home was?
he didn't speak of it. Most of the conversation that we had, Samurai, was about his designs, what he wanted to do, why he was excited to have Samurai take notice of his work. And he did mention that he had expectations to to finally be able to court a young woman in a neighboring village.
What was her name?
He never
Did
mentioned
he
her
ever
name,
mention it?
No.
Shit.
but sometimes the merchants will come up, samurai, and
Mhm.
they will explore the tunnels that we are currently not mining.
Mhm.
Because sometimes they will find clumps of jade. It's very rare. But sometimes they will also help us find veins that we might have overlooked.
Mhm.
The mine is predominantly copper, but we have hit a few veins of silver here and there.
Okay.
Do the tunnels extend all the way through?
They go down a bit, but they don't. They don't. They don't go far.
Understood.
The daimyo has not permitted us to go further than a mile.
Okay. Well, we should be off. Thank you all, and I'll give a
Yeah, they
little
follow.
quarter bow.
Um. I'm wondering if we should check out the mine.
I would remind you that we are in our normal attire, not our fighting attire.
Always in my phone attire.
I mean, the mine will still be here. I mean, we can.
Yeah, I know. I know. Normally, I don't even bother. I don't wear armor. I wear armor very rarely. I feel like it slows me down.
I got you.
Okay. Has there been any merchants here lately? Anybody strange? Not normally around here?
No.
There has been a couple of merchants that have come through, but they were looking for silver or gold, samurai. Only Ryuji was looking for jade.
Okay. Let's head back.
Mhm.
You remember how to get to the stall, right?
Mhm.
So we'll work our way from there. Maybe we can find somebody that lives in the area, knows where he lived, and we can check out his house. Keep. I look at all the miners,
Mhm.
and I say, "What happened here? The words of what happened here does not leave here.
They
If I
nod.
find any rumors of what happened here in the village, I will blame all of you." And my finger stops at the
Yoshidaru.
yeah. I will blame all of you, and I stop at him so he knows.
Yep.
Mhm.
Yep.
I do not wish to create a panic in the city, and the last thing I need is for all of you to start it. I will depend on the honor of your ancestors. Keep your mouths shut.
They nod.
Yeah. We do not want the person who attacked Ryuji to get away.
Nope. And I give a bow. I give a curt bow, and I leave.
Yeah, they all bow low as you're leaving.
Okay. So
But
Okay, let's
we
head over.
yeah,
So
but
we showed
time.
up to the meeting unarmed, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So let's go to the shed, his stall.
Mhm.
I'm waiting to get a message back from the Scorpion that he's arranged a meeting
Mhm.
with the handmaiden of my sister, my
Yeah.
cousin.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, we just head over there.
Yeah, by the time you get back to the village, the sun is set. The last little vestiges of orange and yellow and red are kind of clinging to the horizon. The dark blues of the evening are starting to really creep out over the sky. When you get to Ryuji's stall, you see that it is empty, and there is a older woman that looks like she's cleaning it out.
I walk right up to her.
She notices you and bows low.
Why are you cleaning the stall out?
The magistrates have told us that Ryuji is dead.
Well,
You know where he
so much
lived?
for that.
Yeah. Yes, samurai.
Take us there.
Okay. Of course. And she picks up one of the boxes with what looks to be some very beautiful, intricate clay artwork.
Mhm.
And she takes you through the southern part of the town until you get to this modest shack. It looks like maybe 15 by 15. And she nods. This is where he stayed, samurai.
Mhm.
I have not gotten to cleaning it out, so I apologize for any mess you find.
It's better that you haven't cleaned it out yet.
She nods. I will leave this box here then.
No, you will also stay here. When we leave, I would like to question you.
Okay.
Can-
Okay.
Yeah.
I go up to the door. I put my katana, set in case I need to draw. I open the door.
Inside, you will see a little makeshift stone kiln.
Mhm.
What looks to be a wooden wheel. And just blocks of clay. Like 6 blocks the size of your forearm. Just off to the side. A couple of bowls. Nothing really major.
I search the entire house.
Okay. Let's have you make an investigation roll.
Ba-ba-ba-da-ba. Investigation.
Yeah.
Trained. 16. Not bad.
Yeah.
see.
It's not terrible.
I got nothing. I got untrained.
Ooh.
Anyways.
Yeah. Do it.
Nice.
26 untrained. Yeah.
Oh,
Jesus
wow.
Christ.
Yeah. If you had been trained, you would have, those 10s would have exploded.
Damn.
Yeah.
Yeah, you would have been in like the almost the 40s.
Maybe. You both look around, and Doji will find a little compartment where underneath a pillow that he has to the side, and you'll see some sculpting tools, some wooden sculpting tools. But in the search, Shiwakusho, you'll notice that on the inside of the kiln, on the roof, there is the kanji for fire.
Shit.
Is it look new?
No, it just looks like it's been carved into the stone.
That took a while.
So everything around it is blackened except for the actual carved.
Recent, I should
wild.
say, not new. Recent.
It looks recent because everything else is black around it.
Is black, right?
Okay.
I'm gonna point that out. Is that the same kanji we saw on the guys we fought 2 episodes ago?
They've used different kanjis,
Mhm.
but they always use a kanji. And which one is this?
Fire.
Yeah, I don't think we bumped into a fire yet. We've met gold, wealth, but this actually is this the first time that they've used an element?
No. They used
Okay.
elements in Shiromari Sato.
Okay, they did. You're right.
Yeah.
So
I
if
swear to God, it feels like we're chasing ghosts. If they had any honor, they would just stand and fight.
um, I wish.
what I would do for a crab witch hunter.
Or Shoji. Well, my concern now is that whoever did that was going to be covering their tracks.
Yeah. Well, whoever did that left their shell, might be in somebody else's form already. Could be anywhere in the town, anywhere. And we don't know how they're, and it could be that they no longer have a scar on the neck now, for all we know, which makes things even more difficult.
Correct. But we
And
should
I'm
talk
wondering if he was already one of these creatures when he gave you your piece of jade, because that would mean
He never
they
gave
can
it to
now
me.
handle jade without a problem.
Yeah. Well, he never gave it to me. He was going to get it.
Oh, that's interesting.
He gave it to the scorpion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So no letters or anything here, right?
No. It looks like with Shiwakusho's target number, you'll also find that underneath his bedroll, and I say bedroll very loosely, it's several blankets. You notice that there is this. At first glance, it is like a leather padding between him and the wood, the bamboo of the floor.
Yep.
But it's actually a canvas. On the back of the leather, he has started to carve out the semblance of the same girl.
Oh. We should take this. Concerned about that kanji. I don't want to leave it in here
The
in
house,
case.
the entire house needs to be burned down.
Which I believe that's probably the point of the kanji.
But it went off, apparently, and it didn't do anything. Because everything's still here.
So it did.
I would like to do a spellcraft.
Okay, for what?
Using my memory, because I've been reading up on things I shouldn't be reading up on.
Yeah.
Yeah. So a 30, maybe. What's up?
Spellcraft is based off of intellect, right? Yeah, intelligence. Okay.
Uh-huh.
This looks like a semblance of what happened the first time around. That time the kanji didn't do anything except be a calling card.
Yeah.
This feels similar.
Like it was left for us to find it.
Maybe. It could also just mean that Ryuji was paying tribute to Fire Kami. It is in the center of the kiln. On the roof of the kiln.
Okay, so it could just be that he was paying tribute to Fire Kami, not one of these rituals.
Yeah. It's either or. Like there's, as far as their extremes, it doesn't fit anything in between them.
Okay, so I have an idea.
Mhm.
I'm going to walk out. I'm going to search the perimeter of the house. Because the last time they hid something like of earth under a bush or something.
Yep.
So I'm going to walk around, look at all the bushes, move stuff around. I'm looking everywhere.
Yeah. You move around the entire perimeter of the house. And you try to like hop up to take a look at the roof.
Yep.
There's nothing odd. Like there's no semblance of a kanji with the rocks that are holding down the roof. There's no
Yeah.
semblance of kanji in the discoloration of the bamboo used for the walls.
It could be that this thing. It could be that. Man, it's just too complicated. It could have been that the thing that was inside of him wasn't one of the bad ones. Was one of the other ones that we met. For all we know. I know.
The way they
Okay.
described finding him, though, it made it seem like he was trying to crawl away from something.
Yeah. I wonder if this. Well, no, we kind of had an
But
idea.
it's strange. Like, wouldn't the rest of the camp have heard something?
No, they are very quiet. They are
But he had a victim.
disturbingly quiet.
The victim made no noise. Ryuji.
I don't know.
Hmm.
They use Maho. Anything's possible.
Okay.
For all we know, they use some blood magic to silence him before they killed him. It could be a million things. Okay. So I will walk over to the old lady.
Yep, she's still outside kneeling.
You know what? I don't even ask. I just walk up behind her and I pick up her hair and I look at her neck.
Yep, no scar.
Finish your work. Clean out the house so another craftsman could move into it and work for the Empire. And pray to the commies for a soul.
Of course.
I look at the pottery.
Mm-hmm.
I take a look at the pottery.
Yeah. It's very intricate. There's stuff that has been created for each of the clans. There's like and it looks like they're meant to hang. Like they're almost wind chimey. Just the way that they're broken up. Like the crane is almost flamingo-esque in how it's standing.
Wow.
Excuse me. But the neck is broken up in such a way that the slightest move creates a melody. The Phoenix one looks circular, almost like the Phoenix Mon. And the body is whole, but there are broken pieces in the wings that when they move create a different melody. The craftsmanship is really well done.
Well,
I hold the crane one up.
Yeah.
I'm going to look at it with my spellcraft. Just see, I have a feeling. I have a bad feeling, really bad feeling. But I look at it and listen to it and make sure it's not.
The crane one, most of them are open-ended, like they're little shallow concave shapes. The Phoenix one is the only one that's actually three-dimensional.
Okay.
Like all the pieces look like instead of being flat on the wall, they would be out against it because of the shape. It would raise it up off of the wall, whereas all the other ones are meant to like go against the wall or catch the wind with their little hollows. The Phoenix one doesn't have that.
Interesting.
Yeah.
actually, I'll pick it up.
Yeah. It's light.
Just
You are fond of him. You should keep it.
I would like to honor him by hanging it in my tent at the camp, the Phoenix camp.
I look at the old lady. I go, thank you. Continue with your work.
He bows low.
I kind of want to look at it. Does it look lighter than it might imply from the size?
Yeah, like the amount of clay that it went into it should make it heavy.
So that might tell me it's hollow.
That's what I'm thinking.
I kind of give it a little gentle shake and hold it up to my ear.
When pieces clack against each other, there's a reverberation inside of it.
Hold on. I go to one of the crane ones.
Mhm.
I do the same thing.
They clack.
I think he left you something.
Let's get out of the open. We can go to my camp. We can go to.
We could go back into the house.
Okay.
We just go back into the house.
Okay. The woman immediately steps out.
Close the door behind us.
You can see that her
Alright.
silhouette is still there outside the door.
Before you do anything, I step 2 steps away from you, and my hand just hovers.
Smart man.
And you know what? Screw this noise. I even get into center stance. So I'm like, I'm not playing. I'm like, okay, let's see.
Yeah, Kusho actually gives a pretty dejected sign that he has to destroy this fine
Yeah.
piece of Phoenix craftsmanship.
Yeah.
But he will take it and he'll try to crack it with his hands. If that,
The moment you try to find a way to gently crack it open, you will see that the body actually just falls apart. Like it's a very open seam that looks like it was recent. And you see that once you open it, that the main body does have that same concave wind catch. Yep. But the inside, the back portion of it just has the Phoenix Mon etched into it. And then a little spider underneath it.
Motherfucker.
I'm assuming you said that in ancient Japanese.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
I said something appropriately Rokugani.
Yeah.
So the old lady outside probably fainted dead.
Oh yeah, she heard a crane say that.
Yeah,
He's
clutching her neck. Why the kami? Such a mouth.
So I'm assuming there's a story behind this spider.
The spiders it's kind of like their thing a little bit, if I remember correctly.
The bad things or the less
The bad
things?
The bad ones. The bad ones. I don't think I can't think the other ones we met, they didn't have any spider iconology, right?
No.
No. The only time we bumped into spider iconology was with the bat.
Yeah, like they had the Drider shape, but they didn't have any like iconography of the spider. Like they didn't revere the spider.
Yeah, the guys that we're dealing with revere the spider.
Yeah.
That's interesting. He was planning to give that to you, probably.
Is it a message, a warning sign, a...
That's a really good question. I will look at the spider, and I will use my spellcraft.
Yep, not a spell, but nothing magical about it.
Could it be used in the casting of a spell? Oh yeah. What would that be? Lore, yeah. Now how do you know what it is? Heraldry.
I've got lore theology. Would that count or no?
So do I.
You can roll that. Yeah, it
Jesus. Well, both of us. God damn.
Yeah. Okay.
Damn.
We're both like theologians here.
Yeah. The semblance of the spider could mean the bad shape changers. or it could mean something akin to the spider, like a web, a thread, silk. There's, with only the Phoenix Mon to go off of, there's nothing to give you a point A and a point B. You just have the single point. So it could mean anything. It's not a nefarious etching of a spider. It looks very scientific.
Mm-hmm.
It's rough.
Help!
Does it
Vicious
look more-
pit bull attack.
I would say, does it look more recent than the Mon, the Phoenix Mon?
It actually looks like the Phoenix Mon is more recent than the spider.
Huh.
Interesting.
So I wonder if there's another organization he was a part of in the city.
Take that with you.
Yeah, of course. There is.
We might. There's somebody we could probably ask.
Right. Right.
The tea house master seems to know a lot. He might be able to, or maybe he's seen it somewhere else in the village. Yeah. Okay. We go.
Yeah.
Yeah, the woman
Give a
bows
thank
low.
the woman. Give it a
Yep.
full quarter.
Where to now? Where to now?
Is it
Shieldy
late?
cleaned out his stall.
Or is it just after sunset?
No, by the time you're done checking, it is nightfall already.
Mhm.
It is evening. You can smell dinners being cooked. There's a scent of lemon coming off of Doji.
I checked myself. I'm like,
it's not you. It's the pack.
I go to the pack.
The journal smells of lemon.
Interesting. And it started to smell of lemon at night.
Mm-hmm. Once it got a little more
Hellcraft?
moist. Once it got a little more moist, it started to with the cool air.
Yeah.
It started to pick up the scent of lemon.
Spellcraft?
Not a spell.
Interesting. I open it again and I look.
It looks like it's coming from right dab in the middle of the book, but like that's where the smell is most pungent.
I open I go to the middle of the book.
Yeah, there's nothing there. Both pages are blank.
Okay, so with all the shit I've read, right, and all the pillow books I've read,
Sure.
and all the intrigue, have I ever read anything about secret set? You know, like if you warm it up type stuff, and you know what I mean?
Yeah, of course I know what you mean. Yeah, make an investigation roll.
Investigation.
Yeah, with
Do I add one for my my memory?
Pair it with intelligence instead.
Pair it with intelligence.
Yeah.
Okay. 36.
Damn.
Okay. You have read before that sometimes secret messages can be passed off, hidden within other texts by using a kind of lemon water.
And how do you coax out the message?
Tea. A black tea more than anything.
Okay, so we will. We'll go to the tea house. We'll go to the tea house.
Okay.
Yep.
And the girl at the counter bows low as you both enter.
We
Doji-san,
require a private room.
of course. Let me see which one is available, Samurai. And as she goes upstairs, you see that in the middle of a conversation, the Bayushi tea master kind of looks in your direction and tilts
I
his
give
head.
him a nod.
I give him a nod.
I give him a nod, but I give him a nod with a look of like,
All right. He bows to kind of reciprocate the nod, and then you see him curtly finish his discussion, and he puts his hands in his sleeves as he comes over to you. Doji-san, Shiba-san, twice in one day.
yes.
Oh,
We came to have a little bit of dinner and enjoy some tea, but we require a private room.
of course, of course. How private of a room would you like?
Private enough.
And just for the two of you?
Yes.
Uh,
Actually,
if you could join us, actually.
yes. If you could join us, it would be great.
Oh, it would be my most pleasurable honor, of course. And the young woman comes back and she sees you talking to him and she just bows low. Bayushi-sama, I was about to prepare them in the orchid room. And he's like, I think that will do just nicely, thank you. I will show them to the room. And she bows and steps up to the side, of course.
Now, as I walk over there,
Yeah.
Because court shit.
Yeah.
If there's any samurai who I
yeah,
recognize
yeah.
on the way,
Yeah, of course
I
there
make
are.
sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he looks at the two of you, he's just like, given your choices this morning, I'm assuming that this dinner would go well with black tea.
Yes.
Your
Very much so.
prescience is legendary.
Of course. And he will look at her and is like, please select the best of the black teas that I have. And also bring us some of that salmon onigiri, I believe. And she bows.
Excellent choice.
The lake salmon is very good this time of year. They're just plump enough before they slim down for their run
Mm.
to start their mating cycle. So they'll have a little more fat, which goes well with black tea, I think you know.
I agree.
And he takes you upstairs, and he doesn't take you to the same room. He takes you to a one further around the back, and by the lights of the other private rooms, it looks like this room has a large separation from the other rooms. Like the other rooms are maybe like two or 3 feet of separation between them. This one has easily 10 feet.
Good.
And he slides the
Perfect.
door open. Yeah, he slides the door open. Inside, you'll see that there are 4 seats. Small little table, the same kind of little coal pit in the center of the table, which he goes through the same motion, strikes a small rod, he puts it in, it catches fire, and then he'll pour some water into the large basin bowl, clay basin bowl, and he'll put it on top of the fire.
Okay. Because I do feel guilty about what happened last time. When it comes in, I'm going to offer to do a tea ceremony.
Okay. Yeah. He'll tell her to bring in the necessary things, and you can roll for your tea ceremony.
Yep.
If you hadn't remembered, I remembered.
13, not bad.
Not bad.
Not phenomenal. It's not like I practice it a lot.
It is unpracticed. Yeah.
It is unpracticed.
Yeah.
You can tell.
But the intent is there.
Yeah. And he smiles as you go through the motions, and after about an hour of the ceremony, Kusho, if you've used any void, you can gain it back. You can get a point back.
Thank you.
Because that's what the tea ceremony does. Gives everybody else a chance to get a void point back.
Yep. So as soon as I'm done with the tea.
Yep.
I will do a little small talk before going to business, because going
course.
straight to business would be rude. But then I will say I will start warming up some black tea on the side.
Yep.
So when I do this, you need to make sure you're ready to draw that weapon.
I didn't hear you, sorry.
Pointing, I look at the scorpion
Mhm.
and say, "So I found this. There's a message inside it. We need the black tea to coach it out."
I thought I smelled lemon water.
Yep, and I
It's
read
a
about
heavy-
it in the pillow book.
It's a heavy hand.
Yes. Oh, very pungent.
Yeah.
But so yeah. So I don't know what's going to happen. I know that they have been using Mao, so I don't know if this might trigger something or might just be a message.
Understood.
It's better to be safe than sorry.
Bayushi-san, would you appreciate some more background before we get into it?
I
That's what I meant. I told him about how we got it.
Okay,
And then
okay.
that we were open.
That- yeah.
Yeah.
Context, okay.
okay.
Yeah, I told him how we got it, and then I'm
Okay.
like,
Okay.
yeah.
Because you were going into it just like, hey, I found this secret shit. What can you tell me about it? And I would have been like, all right, yeah.
You're gonna have to trust me about this and not ask where it came from.
Yeah.
And there are actually two things. We want to show them the other thing I have too. So
Yes. Oh yeah, for sure. The spider.
Um,
Actually, let's show him the spider before we do this, because this could go real south really fast.
sure. So I'll hold up the chime
okay.
design Phoenix, and then I put it back together to carry it.
Yeah.
And then I'll pull it apart and show him the inside of the mon and the symbol of the spider.
Oh. Wow. Interesting. What do you think this means? The Phoenix Mon within a Phoenix clay wind chime. Not exactly the element that your clan is known for.
No. Well, one thing stood out is that the Phoenix mon seemed to be drawn after the spider.
Yep.
It doesn't look rushed to me. So that means that this was done calmly. This was done with intent.
Yeah, I'm not certain what this is. A message, a warning. It's a little beyond my ken at the moment.
I know that the enemy, their symbol was the spider webs of the same like, which is why I automatically thought, especially since how he died, that it was tied together.
So the rumors are true.
Ryoji was seemed to have been attacked at the camp, at the mining camp.
Unfortunate. I had high hopes for him and his skill.
He was talented.
Very. And you'll see that he kind of looks at the other pieces of the Phoenix and like, may I?
By all means.
And he starts to pull apart the other pieces of the wings, the head, the tail, and you'll see that there's just etchings, lines carved into each of the pieces.
Oh.
Like
line-
a web?
No, like you could easily put it together to make a web, but there are lines that are thicker than others. There are lines that curve in a specific direction. And he
Spellcraft?
Is it a puzzle?
it looks like a puzzle.
Oh, it's a puzzle.
And he puts the pieces out, making sure that he didn't forget any of them. This is interesting.
Yes.
Puzzle.
Meditation, lore, games. Oh wow. Okay. I would like to roll a game to see, because I'm thinking putting together puzzles is like a game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That'll work.
Yeah. It's awareness. It's not gonna be that good, but you never know.
Yep.
What?
Ooh.
With only two, with a score of 1. What?
Yeah. Look at you.
Being trained is
It pays to
amazing.
have to be trained. Yeah.
Yeah, bro.
It changes the game. It's really interesting because it is a puzzle once you start to like look at the lines and you start to really see that it's not a web because there's no like central part, there's no real curves or shoot offs, offshoots. But standing up and looking at it, it kind of looks like they're carved in such a way to mimic the brush strokes of someone drawing a kanji.
A kanji of what?
It's rough because you can do the kanji for mountain, but you'll have some pieces left over. You can do the kanji for water, but you'll have pieces left over.
I think about how it would be hung and how it would spin. If all the pieces were in the right place, what would it have created?
That's rough because the backs are all rounded.
Yeah.
So
This was made so at some point it would form that kanji. This wouldn't be done for no reason whatsoever.
right.
This was done. This is either a trap. No, this was definitely a trap of some kind. Meant for you to take this back and hang it up and something to happen. I just don't know what that is. Can a kanji be used as like a prayer protection or something like that?
No, they're really meant more for honoring.
Hold on, the mountain, isn't that tied to the phoenix?
The Phoenix Land is in the mountains, yeah.
It could be like an inside to them, but it doesn't make sense.
Even if you do, yeah, like if you go through the elements, which are the basic kanjis, the mountain, you have pieces left over. The water, you have pieces left over. With fire, you have pieces left over. But once you go to kaze, which is the wind, there are no leftover pieces. Everything fits.
Little effect. As soon as that happens, my wind kami kicks in.
Okay.
Huh. Now the question is, why would you go through that much trouble for something that nobody sees on the inside? If the pieces were moving, would it have ever fallen into this pattern?
No.
I look over at the journal.
Yep.
I open the journal.
Yep.
I find that. Put my katana right next to me. Grab the black tea that's been warmed up.
And as you're about to pour the black tea onto the journal itself, the Bayushi stops you.
I think it's just
Doji-san,
what tea leaves.
not to challenge your expertise in this situation.
Oh no! I'm not an expert. I read about this one time. I just have a
Correct.
really good memory.
Correct. He reaches into his sleeve and he pulls out a paintbrush He's like,
Thank you.
there are subtler ways to handle the situation, and he just
Splash!
he
Splash!
just dips the paintbrush into the tea and then just kind of brushes it like a barbecue.
He throws it into the tea bag.
Yeah, and just toma. But he will take a much calmer and leveled approach to just kind of dipping
Thank you.
the brush in the tea and then sliding it across like he's basting ribs for a barbecue. And you will see a beautiful rendition, an artist drawing of the castle for the village. It looks like it's done from the perspective of his stall. And at the point, you will see the kanji for wind. To the left of it, you will see the kanji for water. To the right of it, you will see the kanji for fire. And then underneath it, you will see the kanji for mountain.
Okay. That's on one page, right?
That's on one page.
What's on the other one?
The other page is what looks to be a drawing of Toshi Tetsuro with the jade kind of like holding it up in his hand and the jade floating around in his palm. But the corners all have these tendrils that kind of reach out towards it, like snaking out of him.
Hmm.
And he has both arms in the drawing.
Interesting. Interesting. Why would he spend the time to create such an intricate drawing of our friend
And the castle.
and a castle with the mons around it like that? Earth, air, fire, water.
And we have a symbol with all of those kanji on it.
Yep.
Potentially.
Yep. At least we didn't walk it into the castle.
You're right.
He could have been spying for them on that castle this entire time because he had a perfect view of it. If he was one of them. We have no idea how long he was one of them. Could I think of any spell reason why the castle would be drawn with the 4 elements like this?
They might be directional, but they also fit where they belong. Because
earth, air, fire, water.
Because
But why would you do something like that in a drawing?
Because if you're looking at the castle, to its left would be the lake, and to the right there's no real fire. Because to the right would be the campgrounds where all of the clans are.
Shit. That's not good.
Yeah, because the only other thing that would relate to fire would have been the abandoned temple.
How has I look at the scorpion? How has your attempts been to organize a meeting with my cousin's handmaiden?
I have sent word. I'm waiting for a response.
Good. I have a bad feeling we're running out of time.
But something's not
Adding up.
Yeah, if I recall correctly, he gave Shoji-san the jade, so he handled it.
Well, it could have been before he was captured and done. I don't know.
Right, it hasn't been that long.
True.
Less than a week.
And I understand they work fast, but
Well, maybe they found a way to be able to handle Jade now, so maybe that advantage is now moot.
he was just one of the good ones, neutral ones.
Maybe. And maybe that's why he was killed. It could be that's why he was killed. But I don't think he was killed because his body was empty.
You think something left him?
No, I think that he left his shell behind.
That exactly. That's what. Yeah.
Yeah, I think he left his shell behind. Which means we don't know where he is. We don't know if he fled the city. We have no idea what's going on with that. It could be a number of things. I think we are at a standstill right now. I don't think there's any other threads we could pull on. Basically, everything falls to being able to meet my cousin's. Hopefully, we get something from her. And other than that, we are in a reactionary stance because
Right. Attacking their camp was a dead end because they weren't there any longer.
exactly. And they
So
were
we
on
don't
the
know
way
where they are.
here, and we don't know if they're already in the town. I am willing to bet they already are. If I know the way they operate, they're already here, and they've already into the village. Where they are, I have no idea. How to find them, I have no idea.
We do.
What?
I'm going to take the book and I'm going to open it up to the drawings
Uh-huh.
and show them to Mayushi-san.
The girl.
This may have been a paramour of our departed Ryuji. Do you recognize her?
Lovely woman. I do not.
The lady cleaning out his stall mentioned no. It was one of the
that she lives in
Mashiguri.
another village.
She lives in another village.
There are two small villages that are close enough. Hayashi, and the door slides open and you see the girl. My lord. Send two of my fastest. She nods and closes the door. Find out if anyone in these villages knew of this Ryuji.
That would be extremely helpful because we would only be able to tackle one at a time.
I hope you don't mind. I reach through my bag. I pull out 3 cups. I have crabmon on them. I pull out a small sake bottle. I go, I could really use a little bit right now. I pour some for you, and I pour some for the scorpion.
And immediately, once you are done, he will pour it for you.
Thank you. I grab my cup. I go, Kenpai.
Kanpai. Thank you, Yoji-san.
And I take my drink because I'm like, bro. Oh.
You see the Bayushi look down at the symbol. I wonder. And he picks up the body with the Phoenix Mon and the Spider Mon.
Mhm.
We are looking at this from an angle where we want something to happen. And
Yes.
there might be something happening that we haven't stumbled upon because this isn't the right permutation of designs.
So,
We're assuming that all of them have to be used.
Okay.
so the others being a red herring to throw us off, whoever finds it off.
Perhaps. In shogi, you do not use all your pieces if you can avoid it.
True. I just feel like I'm playing Go against my father. He always plays 10 moves ahead.
Huh. You say that and you see him immediately start to move the pieces around.
Yeah.
And they all line up to make squares. They make a 6x6 grid.
Interesting.
Huh.
A board.
How big is this board?
Maybe 1.5 by 1.5 feet.
Huh.
Interesting. Uh,
And are there pieces left over now?
There are not.
Okay.
How big are the squares?
They're almost perfectly square. There's some give and take, but they're all about 1.5 to 2 inches squared.
Okay.
Does the piece with the phoenix and the spider on it, does it stand up almost like a piece?
It does.
Huh. Interesting.
Well, I mean, I pick it up, I'm looking at it, and I look at the two of them, and I'm like,
Yep.
Does the spider
the
and
concave
figures-
bottom, like the ass of the phoenix, matches the concave. The convex bottom of the phoenix matches the concave angle of the pieces.
can the phoenix and the spider ones be separated?
You haven't tried.
I try.
It takes some doing, but there is a clean break.
no. Is it the same?
I'm looking at the
concave,
board
convex?
trying to think of what game this is now. We have 2 pieces, we have a grid.
Mhm.
What game is this?
It's
It's a
weird.
6x6 grid.
Yep.
Right?
It looks like it's a corner, like one of the 4 regions of a Go board.
Why don't you check your chime? Just make sure he can't take it apart. See if there's more pieces.
I try to take apart the crane one.
No,
Nothing.
they're all open ended, so they don't. There's nothing that looks like it was crafted separately.
I grab a piece. I grab the phoenix,
Mhm.
and I put it down in one of the squares.
Okay. There's the clacking sound that you would imagine happens from 2 pieces of clay coming together. It doesn't make a noise.
Try the spider
I put
piece.
down the spider one at the exact opposite corner.
Same thing. It doesn't make the noise you would expect it to make.
And this interior part seems to be clay too. The whole thing seems to be solid.
The whole thing is just clay pieces that form squares.
In all my years and all the reading I've done, I've never heard of anything like this. At all.
Yeah. Hmm.
Yeah, the
Try moving the piece around.
Bayushi is just kind of looking at like this. This is odd. I've never seen anything like this.
I feel like we're missing pieces.
Maybe.
Because if it's just two pieces, it's an endless dance. One piece moves, the other one moves. You'll never be able to trap one with the other.
Correct.
You need more than one piece to play this game. We're missing pieces.
If we are, where are they?
I wonder. I look at the grid, right?
Mhm.
And I'm imagining.
Yep.
Excuse me.
Imagine it.
I'm imagining savage pitbull.
Yep.
They're so vicious. I'm thinking of the I'm trying to imagine the town on this grid.
Sure.
Does it fit in my head? Like
It does. Like if the Phoenix, since you put the Phoenix in the middle of one of the tracks and you put the spider on the other one, if the Phoenix was the castle, the spider is at the tea house.
look at the picture with the kami.
Mhm.
The castle.
Yep.
Do they match at all? Like anything?
If they did, they would have to be in the corners.
Do I see a spider on the picture at all?
On the
On the picture of the castle.
oh, it's hard to make out anything beyond. But if you hold it up with a light behind it, it does look like on the back of the castle is the spider drawn into the same kind of lemon water.
Shit.
So put the spider in the center.
Yeah.
And then put the
And then the Phoenix in front of it.
below it for mountain.
That's what I mean.
Yep, nothing happens. Same thing, the same kind of silent sound.
Hmm. Put it above it just to try it. I'll put it in all the corners and leaving the spider in the center.
Nothing changes.
Nope.
Hmm. I am. Hmm.
Hmm.
So
But
I will it's a good thing my best friend's not here. He would have flipped this in frustration by now.
bring the microphone back.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Dog knocked it back.
Yeah.
It's a good thing my best friend is not here, or else he would have flipped this in frustration.
Yep. 100%.
He would have been like, enough games, and flipped it.
Do you say that out loud?
No.
Okay.
Well, I say that's what he would have said. He would have said enough games and flipped it.
Yeah. The Bayushi kind of looks at you. What if?
What?
And then he
Flips the table?
He just throws the. No, he just like scatters the pieces outward like a shotgun blast.
Okay.
And there's a moment where you see them all kind of clatter. There's the sound of clay against bamboo.
Mm-hmm.
The door slides open and you see the young girl standing there with a tanto, and he just holds up his hand to her.
Well, hold on. I mean, that opens. My hand goes to mine too. It's like, oh shit!
Yeah.
She's like, "Is it murder?"
Yeah. Is it murder time?
It's a murder time.
But no, he holds up his hand to her, and she bows low and slides the blade back into her sleeve and steps out and closes the door. But you notice that the pieces all land in such a way that they create a kind of path.
Huh?
And it's not a straight line. It crooks and comes back and then goes further. But it looks like a piece where the phoenix is on one end, the spider is at the other. And if you put it up against the vision of how the city is splayed out, the phoenix is at the castle, and the spider is in the Imperial encampment.
Fuck.
Who was Ryuji working for?
Bro. Hi.
And
Okay.
the Bayushi looks at it, tilts his head. Ayashi, could you bring me the scrolls on the known factions? And outside, of course. And a few moments later, she comes back and she brings a long, kind of rectangular satchel that just has 8 scrolls. And she just puts it to one side, and he grabs, like he rifles through them until he grabs one and pulls it out. And he lays it out on his side of the table. And there's the way that you can read it upside down, it looks like nonsense. Like there are symbols that don't belong together. There are kanji that don't make any sense with what comes before them. The conjugations are nonsensical. And he looks up as he's kind of like, he reads, he kind of like scans up at you, continues scanning, and you can hear the smile in his voice. You'll have to forgive me, this is written in our cipher.
Okay.
Of course.
I figured.
Otherwise, I would not have openly shown this. But he reads through it, and he gets to a point where he taps the page and goes, this is interesting. There is a branch of the Kolat that call themselves the Spider Clan, which is
Interesting.
an affront, given that only the Emperor can give clan
Make your
status.
plan.
Correct.
And last I
Yeah,
understood,
but when did the Kolat ever care about
correct.
what the Emperor wishes?
But they are enemies of the Phoenix Clan. They blame them for their expulsion.
Okay, so
My scroll says that the last time they were active, though, was over a year ago.
I've been just.
Where?
Hmm.
The north end of Shinneman Forest. South of the Phoenix clan.
Hmm.
Near the
But
Kirin
why would
territory.
they- And what?
Near the Kirin territory.
Mm. The question is, why would they involve themselves in all this?
Maybe do you see the detachment of Phoenix here as a easy target?
Or they see weakness in the Empire with this new threat and are trying to take advantage of it.
Pete, make an intelligence roll.
Who?
Pete.
Intelligence.
For Doji.
Yeah.
Ah,
Because if they're a small.
15. Not
Okay.
bad.
Yep. When he tells you the region that they were last active in,
Mhm.
it hits you like a truck.
What?
That's where Shiromori Sato sits. North of Shinnomen, south of the Phoenix Land, closer to the Kirin.
So they've always been involved in this shit. Oh.
Would explain why the spiders, you recognize it as something.
Wait a minute. It explains the kanji for wealth,
Mhm.
for gold.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe this clan made a deal with these creatures. Or maybe the creatures have been this clan this entire time.
It would explain why the Phoenix are so adamant about destroying them and why they hate them.
Yeah.
Hmm.
I just wish the Phoenix told the rest of us.
My question now comes up as, why would Ryuji give you Jade if he was working for this group?
Correct. They would know that they can't touch it.
Wait a minute. Maybe he was that other faction and he left this here as a warning to us. Because why would you leave this here?
As
Why
a
would
bold
you create
assumption.
it? Why would you create it inside a beautiful phoenix? It's almost as if he meant to give it to a phoenix to tell them what was happening. Or it's all part of some elaborate game, and this is a giant what's what we're looking for? A giant taunt to the crane.
Why would they be taunting the crane with the Phoenix?
Not the crane, the phoenix, sorry. The
Hmm.
phoenix. A giant taunt to the phoenix. Like it almost the game has begun. But that
Perhaps.
seems a little elaborate just to leave that message.
So if we take the map literally, who is the Phoenix at the castle?
Yeah, who would be the phoenix at the castle?
Well, we're extrapolating what we think is what is meant. What if the spider is at the castle and the Phoenix is in the Imperial camp?
True.
Who at the Imperial camp would be a phoenix?
Oh.
Do I remember seeing one?
He kind of tilts his head up. This is privileged information, you understand. But the Sepun guard was originally a Shiba before marrying into the family.
Okay. Interesting.
So you have a Phoenix there. And of course, a Shiba would have to take a wife of higher status's name.
So
And who is the
Who
spider at the
in-
castle?
the castle would be the spider.
Who wouldn't be a spider at the castle?
That is an Excellent observation.
Well, at first, I want to flat out say that the honor of my cousin will not be besieged, but there's a
Says the
chance.
person trying to get his
There's a-
handmaiden to
there's a
get dirt on her.
chance. There's a chance that it may not even be my cousin.
I value your stance on protecting the honor of your cousin, but there is only one clan that weaves more webs than the Scorpion clan. And I would dare say that the head of that spider is definitely the Daidoji clan.
I am injured by your word.
A Daidoji courtier is more ruthless than any Scorpion, than any Bayushi I've dealt with.
I'm not saying you're wrong.
They are the nicest. They are the nicest way of stabbing you, but they will stare you in the eye when they do it.
They look at you in the eyes when they do it.
They do.
Yes. Okay. So it is now even more important that we talk to the handmaiden, because she will probably be our eyes in the castle, if she can be trusted.
I don't want to I give the ancient Rakugan equivalent of put on your tinfoil hat, but what if it's her?
Well, we're gonna find out, because if we're inspecting her and we're looking at her all over, she's probably going to go all spider and go at us at that moment, and then we'll know.
But if she doesn't have, if she's not a shifter, she's just a regular girl working for them. How do we know?
If the goal is to
he goes egotistical. I have been trained in the court for many years. I am sure I could ferret her out.
I will.
She is not even a samurai.
I will defer to your.
as such, if the end goal of this clan is power, I would not deign someone as
Put it past him.
As low as a peasant to be involved. The goal is the head of the snake, not the body. The peasant does nothing to further the movement. The daimyo and his wife, however,
are perfect targets.
Right. And we don't know why the daimyo's behavior has changed recently.
I mean, we can assume.
I have suspicions after our talk.
And he does open the fan and kind of put it up to his mouth. Suspicious.
Somebody close to him, right? Somebody very close to him could literally be spiking his drinks. And that, combined with the right words and the right whispers, could drive anyone to extremes. And on top of that, he just lost his brother. In a very gruesome way, mind you.
Correct. But as we discussed, there are ways we would have dealt with it, and they don't line up with how he's dealing with it.
That's true. Well, Tinfoil had, if we're going that way, he did threaten our lives. And he could be using the entire investigation, knowing it would fail, to get us out of the way, because the last time, the people that stood in the way of the clan just happened to be us. Well, not you. Me. Well, the royal... I'm the only one left, am I? Yes, me. Okay. So, it's late. I'm tired. I want to go see my wife and my children. I guess we'll pick this up tomorrow.
No. I would assume that, given the events of tomorrow, we could set up a discussion with the handmaiden the next rest day.
Yep, that's what I'm thinking.
That's fair.
So,
though tomorrow we need to be on alert, because tomorrow would be a good time for them to do something.
I don't
The
disagree, but
the morning and evening tests aren't as large as they have been, so it would not behoove them to try and strike that at that point.
Fair.
All of the children would be
Wait a minute.
gathered.
What are the tests for tomorrow?
Tactics and history.
I give a little smirk.
And tactics would be tested with the shogi board. History would be tested with questions.
I'm giving a smirk because I know my
Yeah.
kid is fucking smart. So I'm like,
The children would be gathered. They would be easy to pick off, but they would also be easy to marshal.
question. I'm thinking about the end ceremony of my. How close was I at that moment at the end? How close was I to the magistrate at the end?
When it was just down to the duels.
No.
In your
At the
Genpuku?
end, during the end ceremonies.
But during your Genpuku or
Yeah,
Wh-
during
when-
mine. Like, how close did I get to him?
pretty close. Like you were maybe
They would be-
within 20 feet of them.
They would be perfect if they could replace some of the kids. They would be right there. Think about it. A public display of power. Out in the open. You sacrifice a few pawns.
The children, although I see the angle that you're taking, the Mia would have more access to pull the Otomo and the Seppun into meetings than the children.
yeah, and also I feel like it's too much of a gamble to bet on the one who would win. That would get that person close enough, that child.
Yep.
There's too many factors, or many factors at least. Maybe not too many, but
There are. I would be more concerned if the Mia does request the Otomo's presence, or vice versa.
Yeah.
That puts either of them within striking distance of the other.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Because think about it. What kind of a display of power it would be for them to do something like that in a very public place, in a very public way.
It would be shattering,
Mhm.
but given the regiment that's sitting outside our gates, they would lose the city. It gains
that's
them
my
nothing.
question. The chaos is just short term, and it would, like you said, gain them nothing.
Yeah, but why were they trying to take over the last village? Last time I remember, they were just trying to kill everybody.
If death is the end goal, then that might be the best way to do it, yeah. The Imperial Army would run through this town like a swath of fire.
Maybe that's their goal. Just wipe out the city.
Maybe just cause as much destruction as possible.
That doesn't get them power necessarily.
But
If
what
we
the
assume that
Kolat?
that's the
What is a Kolat after? What's a Kolat after?
The destruction of the Emperor.
Of the Emperor.
To
Specifically.
destroy the caste system. And you see him go through and he puts a scroll away, he gets another one. He goes, "Tell me, Doji-san, while you were in Shiromori Sato,
Yes.
did you encounter any Naga?
Yes, we did.
Let me ask you this, did you encounter any Naga here?"
No, we have not met any Naga here.
Interesting that they've kept themselves from you. I would recommend you take a ferry to the island in the middle of the lake for some fishing.
Oh, I hear the salmon tastes delicious right now.
The salmon does taste delicious. It's extra fat.
I want sushi now.
It's a good way to calm the spirit.
Correct. Do make sure that you take the sushi with you. I fear he has thrown himself at his work and requires a bit of rest.
Yes, he is very stressed out.
Now, I do wish to apologize for taking you away from following your daughter's deeds tomorrow.
I'm sure you will tell me how well she does.
I'll take extra special precautions to make sure I'm aware of where she is standing.
Thank you. I pick up the pieces.
Yep.
I put them in a bag and I give them to you. And I will see you in the morning.
He stands
Pick
up.
up and I look at the sake for a second, and I pour one for the scorpion. I pour out one for the phoenix.
And he pours yours. And he stands up. He's like, Doji-san, Shiba-san, I know that this is extravagant of an ask, but since we have shared such drink and such merriment twice on one day, I would be remiss if I did not ask to hold the journal for a night.
Okay.
You will receive it again tomorrow or the day after when I see you again.
Of course.
I do not see an issue with that.
Nope.
You're
It
most-
means something else.
You are most kind,
with
and he bows low.
Bow back. Thank you for your hospitality.
Thank you for
very
your
much.
sake. And without saying anything, Ayashi opens the door for you. I will take you downstairs, Samurai.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And the Bayushi just kind of stands at the doorway. It's kind of a low nod. And as you go to your respective camps for the evening, I think this is a good spot to call it for tonight.
Yep.
Look at you guys making waves.
Look at that.
Learning shit. But
So I
yeah,
insist that you write up stat blocks for Mocha here because I guess they're a player now.
they're a player? All right. I mean, that's gonna take up three of your traveling pack slots. A dog that big? That's bigger than a monkey.
Yeah.
I still have a surprise in my travel pack. Hasn't shown up yet.
Yeah. But yeah, as always, I want to give you guys a chance to plug whatever you're doing as a way to thank you for coming back for this. So we'll start with you, Pete. What are you up to? Where can we find you online if you want to be found?
On Instagram, you can find me by StatMonkey. I am currently still working on Roddy Cape Second Edition. I'm pretty much done with the rule set. I'm getting the events ready for Origins Game Fest, which is in like 40 days.
Yeah.
We're running a bunch of Arcanus, and we're actually Paradigm Concepts actually stepped up, and we're running running a bunch of Marvel superhero events at the Gathering also. And then I'm getting ready for Gen Con because I'll be there with our booth selling our stuff.
Yeah. Is it
yeah,
still in
and
Indianapolis?
yeah, it's still indie.
It's still indie?
And yes, still indie. And at Origins, I am going to be running random pickup slots of Extended Cape Second Edition, doing a playtest.
Nice.
Just grabbing random people and being like, "Here, try to break it."
Okay.
Yep.
Nice.
Playtesting. Nice.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. And we will be playtesting Roddy Capes in the near future. So
Cool.
Antero, what are you up to? Where can we find you online if you want to be found?
You can find me here doing some Salem Vampires on Mondays, and here doing some L5R on Thursdays. Over in McStabber, we're a bit of a break. Just ended two season 1 Chronicles, Mage and Chicago Hidden City, but Mage won't be back for a while, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Chicago will be back in about think 3 weeks now. So about 3 weeks.
Okay.
So looking forward to that, but a little bit of a break now, thankfully.
All right. It almost lines up with a special mini-series we got planned.
Oh, look at that.
Yeah, look at that. But yeah, thank
Did
you
you like my-
guys. You
How
smooth
serendipitous.
segue. But thank you guys for coming back for this. I am sorry that it was just the two of you, but I hope that I kept it as much fun as possible.
Nope.
Oh, no, it was great, dude.
It was good.
It was good. It was good.
I
We're a little
was-
out of our comfort zone. 2 samurai trying to figure out detective shit.
Yeah. It was a little worrisome in the beginning when I was dropping frames, but it managed to
Picked up, yeah.
keep itself steady. As always, you can find us here on Monday for Vampire the Masquerade 5th edition, Tuesdays for Scion 1st edition or Werewolf the Wild West, and Thursdays, like you just saw, for Legend of the Five Rings 4th edition or 7th 2nd edition. And as always as well, we take mental health on the channel very seriously. So if you feel like you need help and you can still take advantage of the phone numbers that are going up in our Twitch chat, they'll be in the description box if you're watching on YouTube, please do. I'm trying to verify if the Canadian number is a good source so I can add it to the list, just because of the bullshit that our health administration is going through. So please know that there are resources out there. There are people who want to help you, who are trained to help you. And taking that first step is just going to be the hardest. If you're not in the United States, or if you wanted to find an alternative, you can always go to findthehelpline.com. That's in our Twitch chat. That will be in the description box on YouTube as well. So just know that there are people out there who want to help you. And thank you guys for following along. I hope that you're having a good time. We are coming up on the last couple of days of this tournament, and with that, it's probably going to be the end of this season. So I'm looking forward to seeing how everything wraps up with you. So please be safe. Don't do anything crazy. Check in with yourself and with your friends and family. And we will see you when we see you. Have a good night, everybody. Bye.